Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices, and we're looking at the SPX here. Now, we know that the Liberation Day tariffs have caused the markets to move down, so we'll be looking at that. The cash market doesn't represent that, but we'll look at that on the futures market. So we'll see a move down from this point. So we've been working two counts in the bigger picture here. One is this expanded flat correction where we have an ABC pattern here, and we'll look at that. We'll look at this one now, and then we'll look at the other one of actually looking at this as a top being in place. Now, it's a little bit difficult to fit a top into directly into this space here, but I think it's sort of worthy to do that because when you look at stocks like META, Amazon, Google, they had nice clean tops and they dropped, where the S&P had kind of three waves up here to finish this off, but we can work a top into that. So if this is going to be the case here, then we can look at this coming down here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and finishing off down here in 5 waves. So I won't bother looking at that at the moment for this, but basically 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 coming down. So let's go back and have a look at the alternative count, which is a little bit different. So over here at the alternative altar, we've got this as a top being in play here and counting down, and in this case filling in the dots here a little bit, we would look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. This is pretty much how I'm looking at Amazon and Google. So basically looking down here as I'll just make it simple, as an A and a B and a C wave coming down here further, and this would be a dance across the 5,000 area here and a bounce off the 5,000 area here, but sometimes it falls a little bit short on all of that as well. The variation on this is it's quite possible to put the wave A over here and the wave B over here for this, but I don't want to go there just yet. That's something we can work later, but this is the alternative count coming into play, and then we'll go over to the futures and we'll just work this little area down here for this. So bear with me here for a second. I just want to go into so the 15-minute chart here as such. So like with the other two counts that we looked at, we were looking at basically wave 4 here, and then looking at this move to the downside. Now to confirm this, we need to take this low out down here for this low here. So let's just fill in some dots here. So in a nutshell, we're looking at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming into play here for this. So if we've got this wrong for any reason whatsoever, we can go long above this top here. Okay, so there's a good case for counting this down as an A and a B and a C wave to come down through here. And if we were going to count it as 5 waves, it kind of got to be really sort of pushed in a little bit. It's a little bit tricky. I don't know if I've got it counted on here. Yeah, you can do it in 2 ways. You can go 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the third, fourth, and then the extension in the 5th. Or you could put 4 and 5 just down here on these ones here, if you're looking for 5 waves down, that is. So what we need to see now is if we were going to go long, we can simply go long above this top here, so that really covers any bullish move at that point. And there is a case for that when we look at the European markets and some of the Asian markets and so on. But in the meantime, we'll see the futures have dropped here, so I'm sure that the stocks in the after hours have dropped as well. We're expecting them to move down. A lot of them were at really strong levels, that they needed to get through, like 200 for Amazon and 400 for Meta or whatever it was, and so they're all at resistance level. So what we've got to see here now is really quite simple. We either have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to come down for the third wave, the fourth and the fifth, and so on at that point. Or if we were going to be bullish, then we would need to see this as an ABC pattern here, and that means that this here would just be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave coming much the same, and then moving up from that point. Now, it's quite possible. This here can be counted up in different ways. This is 1, 2, 3 to here, but to get 5 waves in here, I've just gone 1 and an A and a B and a C here for 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could fit it in that way, or I could probably WXY it over here and push this in over here as well. So yeah, is it possible to count this up as 5 waves? Yeah, I think it is actually. So you need to include this top here. So what I wanted to do, just in case it was bullish, is this would be the sign to go long above here, because at that point, from this move down here and move back here, this is really at the supply levels of the old high here and the consolidation at that point. But make no mistake, the one thing that you need to understand here for intraday traders is that this move down here is in 5 waves. So if we just drop it into 1 minute here for a moment, you can quite clearly see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we're looking for, I'll just put the wave 1 here, and I'll just tidy my work up a little bit as I go here. So in one way or another, we're going to see some sort of, short rally over this. How far it comes back up as a 61.8% and all that, it doesn't matter. You'll still get this other move to come down here for this. If it does pop up there and you do want to short this, then you can look for that second low, wherever that may be at that point. You may be able to get another one a little bit further up for that. So I'm going to remove this entry here. I don't want to leave that there, and I don't want to leave this one here, and it's a little bit unlikely as well at this stage. The short side of the market would be the better trade for the day traders, but you need to wait for this little rally here, and we can start from this low here and work to this low, see how the Asian session goes on that point there. But because you've got the 5 waves here, then it should be okay at that point, unless this is an expanded flat here. But still, going short under this low here is the safest bet. Okay, so I'm just going to get off the 1 minute area here, and we're going to look at the NASDAQ. So it's the same pattern for the NASDAQ. This is the futures here, so we'll just stay with this because it's got the extra data in here. And in a bit of a nutshell here, we were looking for any long trade here would be above new highs, and would also need to have the 20,000, a major trading level here, as the support. So we'll just remove that, but that's still in play at that point. The move down here has taken out this low here. So even though it looks like it can be counted best as 3 waves here, you do need to make 5 waves out of it. And let's just, I haven't labeled that in there, but anyway, the corrective move here. And then we've got down for 1 here that we could put in here now. I reckon we could go and have a look at that. And then we're looking for wave 2 here. So this space over here will be these, a balance in this consolidation over here is more likely where the supply is going to be for any short-term recovery. But at the same time, we'd be looking for further downside here, and the 1800 down here will play out there as well. So if we just have a look at this here as 1 minute here, we can see that doesn't matter too much about that there. I'll just sharpen things up a little bit. So we've got a nice 1, 2 here and 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this low here, the same as the S&P. So how far it rallies, of course, is always a bit of a mystery. So of course, we can always put this in here, the 61.8%. I don't know if we'll get to that stage there. As I mentioned, the supply for this is a little bit lower. So when you have a correction, the idea with corrections is that they're always working to some number. So in this one here, I can see that they're working to 19,500 will be the closest largest number at a guess. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just taking this pattern here and I'm finding the balance point within that, and that's what you need to do at a correction to find where the point is, the balance point, and then you gravitate over to the closest largest number, and then this would be, out of all this rally here, the likelihood of this up here would probably be the max that it'll go to at this point. So don't expect it to go to the 50-60% at that point here. I can still see it's weak, but whoopsie daisy, but I can still see it like it wants to sort of come down. But we do have 5 waves there, so just on the 1 minute chart, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, I kind of like that. So yeah, even though it looks pretty weak, I think we might see some sort of short covering rally on that from all the news traders on that. So that's where we are at this particular point in time for this market. Just wanted to have a look at a couple of the big tech stocks, just so you've got the same sort of picture. And what I wanted to just point out here, just a couple of points, is that we do have nice clean tops over here for this. So this could very well be the pattern for the S&P 500, which I didn't think that I looked at the alternative count, but so in this case here, we'd be looking at this as 1 and 2 here, the same type of thing in 5 waves coming down from here, and then an ABC pattern, how far it comes up, head and shoulders, that type of thing for the B wave, and then the C wave to move down here for this. So there's this is kind of an interesting pattern really, because it's also this is META. Amazon will be much the same as well. So I'm just on the daily chart here for this. So we can look at this here doing much the same as well in all of this as well. So yeah, so whoopsie daisy, can't grab that. No, it doesn't matter. But basically here we're looking for 5 waves down from this top here, and then some sort of ABC pattern, and then another move down. The reason I'm showing you this for this, and Google will be the same, this is kind of the most common pattern, and it's kind of essential to find that most common pattern, because it drives the indices, of course, and secondly, these tariffs, they're the sort of partly the driving factor behind all of this. I also just wanted to give my 2 bob on the tariffs while we're here. Everybody's got an opinion about them. The top of the market in 1929, the whole move up from the 1900s to 1929 to the top there, we had the crash down into 32 there, and that's kind of what we've got at the moment. It was a heavily technology kind of environment, in that cars came on the market by 1910. There were all cars and no horses. It will change within 10 years. A little bit what's happening with EVs at the moment. Folks could at that point, JP Morgan, and that allowed retailers to come in and buy stocks, and you had all those images of taxi drivers buying stock, and the property markets were cranking and popping like they were now. When the market started to turn at the top in 1929, around the 1930 area here, I was just trying to remember what it was here, and so, but when it started to move down, this Smoot-Hawley tariff of 1930 here is exactly what is going on right now. So they raised tariffs on humongous amounts of goods intended to protect industries, but it backfired, and other retaliation from other companies, and it deepened the recession. So what I'm saying here is that this is exactly what's happened before. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this time. I mean, anyway, I'll leave that up to you, but I think that's an important little point to point out. Yeah, so it was that, and the Amazon and Meta and Google have all got the same sort of counts here as well. So now I want to go over to the European markets with all of these. So I've got to go back over here for this. And yeah, so I want to have a look at I'm just going to go straight to the futures market here. And if you want to see any of my counts, you can just go to the analysis tab here and you'll see the accounts for all the analysts at that point. But from here, I'm just going to go straight into the futures market here for the DAX. I'm just going to drop that in here. Actually, I will just start with the cash market for the daily chart here, just so you've got a bit of perspective. We can see that we've got a corrective pattern occurring here for this, and we're looking for an ABC correction here, so an A and a B and a C wave here, and we're in the C wave here. We're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we're looking for another low to come into play at this point. So with that in mind, let's just go and have a look at, now we've got the bigger picture here, because I've got this labeled on the cash market, where the futures market, I may just have the intraday labeled, you know. Oh no, I've got it labeled here too. So what we want to do here is just go into the 15-minute chart here. And, you know, sometimes the futures market can be, because it's got the after hours, it can be a little bit messier, let's just say, you know. But basically, we're looking for wave 3 here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. We've got wave 1 and 2 and 3, and we're looking for wave 4 and looking down for wave 5 here. There is a case to count this up here as impulsive. There's also a case to count this up here as impulsive as well. But I think it's best left as is, and we should kind of consider, you know, the only mistake that I could think that I could make here is that we actually have a little sort of 5 waves up here for the wave 4 and then come down for the wave 5. But I still sort of, you know, and bring wave 4 over to here. But yeah, I still think we still need to come down for one more move on in this, you know. I could probably, I can finish it off in here. I can put this, you know, I can finish it off at this point, but I wouldn't go long unless I had, this is a trading levels thing, so from the 20,000 here, the major level 1, 2, and 3, if we get a tested support on group 1, then we'll go long from that point. And this whole pattern here is a bit of a classic trading levels pattern as well. So we just pick the top here, and then we can go down to this top and then to this top here. So that would be the long trade. Now, if this market, for whatever reasons, gave us another classic trading levels pattern here, then we would go long from that point as such over here in there, right? We may be able to pick it up early. If it comes down here and then gives us an impulse wave to the upside, we can buy the pullback in the ABC pattern. But there's nothing to do at the moment because we'll just get sort of trapped in this space. So yeah, nothing to see here at the moment. So we'll just need to wait this out. Let's have a look at the FTSE. So we'll just go to the bigger picture here for a moment for the FTSE, just to bring things into perspective. It's a bit of a messy trend, but this is how I've got it here so far. So if we look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, then we can look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then going up for wave 3 and 4 here, and much the same as the DAX in a way. And then I was looking for this to be 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, and 5 up here for this 5, 5 of 3, and then having a wave 4 here, and then going up for wave 5 here, and then having a larger correction at this point. Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking with all of this. And because this trend is not really sort of finished off just yet, as such. So I'm just going to bring this into the fold here a little bit better. And So the other thing that's gone on here, if I've made a mistake here, then we need to bring wave 4 over to here, to this point. But there is a good case of having an impulse wave up there, and this would bring this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. If we just drop this down here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming into play here for this move over here. Let's get that into there. It gives us a little bit of an idea, but we can see that this is really weak here, so maybe we're not ready for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and we'll need to bring wave 4 across over here. But the thing is I don't want to see wave 4 come down too low, because we've got wave 1 over here. So this current low where it is this current low here where it is at the moment is kind of as deep as I really want to see it. You know, I certainly don't want to see, you know, if this is going to be a bigger impulse wave coming down here somewhere, well then, you know, then we've got an issue at that point. We'll have to look at it. I'll have to go back and look at it all a bit differently at that point. And it's not that difficult to look at it differently as well. I could put, you know, make all of this wave 3 here to wave 4 over here, and bring wave 4 over to here, and then bring this wave 5 over here. This would be the next step over here, and then look for, you know, this top to be in play here for this wave 3 here, and then wave 4 over here, and we've got a bigger scenario over here. So we'll just see how these trade wars play out, but yeah, that's my thinking in the bigger picture. So yeah, so let's just go into the 15-minute chart and have a bit of a look at this here. So we've been looking at this as 1 and looking for wave 2. We're looking for another little move over here. This is rather complicated here now for this, but today, I'll just leave it here today, because even if you're going to short it, when it comes into this low here, it's going to bounce off that point. But I do see that it's quite, we could WXY it and all those sort of things and have a low in here, or we'll look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here, and then 4 and 5, and we have something like this, and then we've got a different, you know, it'll have a low at the same time as the other market. So we'll just have to see how this plays out at this point, but be careful about shorting it, because this low here will see, you know, some consolidation in here, and get yourself into a little bit of strife at that point. Let's have a look at the Australian. Okay, so on a daily chart here, I've got the futures market, and we've been looking at calling the wave 4 low in place over here for this market, and then looking at this as being an impulse wave to the upside here. And what we're sort of looking for is really sort of gaining support on top of the 8,000 here. So it's sort of popped its head up here. I mean, technically we would normally look to go long above the top there. That would sort of help with all of that, but we'd like to improve on that so we can drop it down to the highs and continue to work that, and we can look at that on the intraday. The other things here too is that Australia, I noticed, wasn't on Trump's tariff list. It may have been down there, right down to the bottom, but I don't think Australia is such a big threat. And the reason I say that for is because we import more from the US than we do send out to the US. Now, I could be wrong about that, but that's what I sort of picked up in the media somewhere, so I could certainly be wrong about that. But I do think that, yeah, from what I can sort of understand, is we were giving them more than they got from us, you know, in terms of trade. So I know that we've got some tariffs on some steel and aluminium, so have the Europeans. Whatever else, I'm not quite sure about how, you know, over the days ahead we'll be able to, you know, start to see how all that's going to play out. But in terms of the long trade here, there was two things I was looking for. I was looking for support on the 8,000 here, because basically in the picture here we could fail at this number. That's pretty much what it's about. So we just need to give it some time here. And the other thing that I wanted to to look at was CBA, or the banks, and I was talking to Shane yesterday about talking about going long in our banks, but we decided to hold off until Donald had done his Liberation Day tariffs, and we would see how they affect the market. So we'll just continue to wait on that, but we will look at CBA. So yesterday we looked at, well, all week we've been looking at CBA, right? So we've got quite a nice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. This leg has come up quite nicely, and we're looking for the first high above the level here in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. It could be counted a bit differently as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, but we're still looking for that sort of pullback over here. So if this pulls back, then this was kind of waiting for, then we can look at going long on the B wave here when that comes into play. So if we can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we could actually just go up a little bit further here, but we still need that ABC back again here for this. So yeah, we're just looking for that pullback here on that, because we don't want to buy in at the top, but I could see that we could probably look at all of this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there could be a little push up here, unfortunately. But let's just see what the discussions there are today about these tariffs for this market. But the good thing about this is that we do have, it is a good case to have 5 waves up here, and we have the 3 waves here. So we are in a corrective pattern, even if I've made a mistake here and this is actually a corrective wave up here, and we do have a C wave down, it's still corrective, because we've got 3 waves in the first leg here. So this 5 waves up here is a really good case for us having a bullish case here as well. But I would like to have a little bit more time and let those tariffs settle in, and let's see how that 8,000 plays out here. Now that said, just coming into the 15-minute chart here, we were looking at this move down here as a ABC pattern coming into form play there, and then we were looking at this being a possible wave 1 to the upside. I won't label it at the moment, because what I want to see is it sitting on top of the 8,000 and not under it. You could take a bit of a chance if you wanted to and go long above that top there. But just remember that at some point, even if this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, it's going to come back and check it anyway. Do you know what I mean? And it's that retest that I'm looking for in some way, It may not even go that high. It might just go to these highs, that type of thing. But all I'm saying is it's looking really good compared to the rest of the world, Could it just fail from here and come on down from here as some sort of A wave, B wave, and C wave here? Absolutely. That's why I want to see it sitting firmly on that 8,000 before we do anything at all. Okay, so it's looking good. We just need to, lock it in a bit better. That's all. Okay, cheers.